To some, he was the barbarian scourge born from the wastes, a demonic servant leading a detestable nation of Satan. To others, he was a genius warlord, a figure who reshaped the very map of the world. His name still echoes through history, a name synonymous with both terror and transformation. Genghis Khan. Born Temujin around 1162 AD, legend says he arrived with a blood clot in his hand, a mark to the superstitious Mongols that he was destined for greatness. But his path to becoming the founder of the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever seen was anything but easy. This is the epic journey of a man forged in the crucible of hardship, who rose from nothing to conquer half the world, leaving an indelible mark on human civilization. Our story begins in the brutal, unforgiving grasslands of Mongolia. Here, life was a constant struggle for survival amidst warring clans and the biting cold. Temujin's childhood was a crucible of extreme hardship. At just 9 years old, a pivotal tragedy struck. His father, Yasugii, a respected tribal chieftain, was poisoned by a rival tribe after sharing a conciliatory meal. His father's last words haunted him. "Son, you must be strong. You must never trust anyone. If you are weak, they will kill you." Abandoned and ostracized by their own clan, Temujin, his mother, and siblings were reduced to near refugees, forced to survive on rats, birds, and insects in the harsh steppes. His mother, Hoelin, became a beacon of resilience, instilling in him the vital lessons of perseverance. It was during these desperate times that Temujin learned the harsh truths of Mongol life. Power is won by blood spilled. When his half-brother, Bektur, hoarded food, Temujin's anger exploded. He raised his bow and shot Bektur dead, confirming his position as the head of his family, feeling no regret, no sadness. This act cemented his early understanding that if he wanted to survive and gain power, he had to take it. At 15, another profound lesson awaited him. He was captured and enslaved by the Taichi tribe, former family allies. But Temujin's iron will proved unbreakable. He refused to submit. With the help of a sympathetic captor, he orchestrated a daring escape, smashing a guard's skull and fleeing into the freezing night. This escape fueled his reputation and ignited a deep-seated aversion to vulnerability. He vowed then and there, "I will never be weak again. I will build my own tribe. I will take my revenge." His personal suffering became the blueprint for his imperial ambition. Temujin knew he couldn't achieve his dream of uniting all Mongol tribes alone. At 16, he married Borte, the woman he was promised to, a marriage that cemented a crucial alliance between their tribes. But soon after, tragedy struck again. Borte was kidnapped by a rival tribe, the Merkits. Temujin's heart burned with rage. He rallied his close friend Jamuka, his sworn blood brother, or Anda, and his older protector, Togro. Together, with an army of 20,000 warriors, they stormed the Merkit camp and rescued Borte. Though the paternity of their first son, Joki, was questioned due to Borte's captivity, Genghis accepted him as his own, defying any rivals to question his judgment. This campaign solidified his reputation as a determined protector and budding leader. Temujin's goal was simple yet audacious: to destroy all divisions between his people, through slaughter if he had to, until the Mongols became one mighty nation. He began to unite the clans one by one, his small force swelling to 20,000 battle-hardened warriors. His early victories were acts of brutal justice. He first turned his army on the Tatars, who had poisoned his father so long ago. Easily defeated, he ordered a chilling punishment. Every Tatar male taller than a wagon wheel's axle pin was killed, ensuring only children remained who could be molded into obedience. Next, he sought revenge against the Taichi who had enslaved him. Relying on his expert horsemen, his cavalry easily routed them. And as revenge, Temujin had every single Taichi chief boiled alive. A deepening rift emerged between Temujin and Jamuka. Temujin believed in loyalty and discipline, treating all his soldiers equally and valuing talent wherever it came from, a true meritocracy. Jamuka, however, clung to the old ways where only nobles held power. Their friendship shattered, leading to a bloody civil war. Jamukha initially gained a victory. Even boiling Temujins captured generals alive. But Jamukha's cruelty backfired. Many Mongols abandoned him for Temujin. Temujin learned from every defeat, vowing never to lose again. He revolutionized Mongol warfare. Loyalty over blood, discipline, and unity. He organized his army into disciplined decimal units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and 2 muns, 10,000, transforming disparate tribal warriors into a highly efficient, unified fighting machine. His forces were trained in fast attacks, trickery, and terror, moving like a single force, like a pack of wolves. Finally, in 1204, the two blood brothers met in a decisive battle. Temujin, with his military genius, ordered each warrior to light 5 fires the night before, making his force appear immense and striking fear into Jamukha's heart. As dawn broke, Temujin's forces unleashed a barrage of arrows and used cavalry charges to demolish Jamukha's army. He even employed feigned retreats to lure his foe into ambushes. Jamukha was decisively defeated, later betrayed by his own generals. When brought before Temujin, he refused a second chance. In a shocking act of mercy that earned him respect, Temujin granted his former brother a quick and painless death. With all rivals eliminated, the Mongols were finally unified under one leader. In 1206, at a grand assembly known as a Kurultai, Temujin was formally proclaimed Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. A great shaman declared him the living representative of Monk Koko Tungri, the eternal blue sky, granting him newfound divine status. It was clear, Genghis' destiny was to rule the world. With the Mongols unified, Genghis Khan immediately turned his formidable military machine outward, towards fresh conquests. He looked beyond the horizon and whispered, "The world shall be mine." His first major ventures were against the Tanguts, Western Xia dynasty, in northwest China, which surrendered unconditionally after 2 years. He then turned his attention to the mighty Jin dynasty in northern China, an epic struggle that would last for 20 years. When the Jin emperor insulted him as a barbarian, Genghis never forgot it. His armies moved like a storm, burning villages and using terror. In 1215, they reached Beijing, the Jin capital, a city with colossal 40-foot walls, alien to the nomadic Mongols. Genghis Khan blockaded the city, causing mass starvation, even cannibalism. He employed captured Chinese engineers to design siege equipment and sent spies to create chaos within. Beijing surrendered, leading to a month of plunder and destruction that solidified his reputation as a bloodthirsty murderer. Even as he fought in China, Genghis' armies struck west. When the governor of Otrar in the Khwarezm dynasty attacked a 450-strong Mongol trade caravan, executing them as spies, Genghis demanded justice. The Khwarezm Sultan responded by beheading Genghis' lead ambassador and shaving the beards of the others, sending them back with the head. This proved to be a fatal mistake. In 1219, Genghis Khan personally led an army of 200,000 Mongols against the Khwarezm dynasty, sweeping through every major city and razing them to the ground. Anybody not immediately slaughtered was forced to march in front of the army as human shields. Genghis spared no living thing, killing children, domestic animals, and livestock. By 1221, the Sultan was captured and killed, ending the dynasty forever. Genghis famously declared, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent me upon you." The Mongol army's success was revolutionary. They were renowned for their unparalleled speed, rigid discipline, and remarkable adaptability. Their soldiers were expert horsemen, able to control their mounts with their legs alone, leaving their hands free to wield bows, swords, daggers, lances, and lassos. They were expert marksmen, with bows capable of shooting up to 500 yards. They employed sophisticated and deceptive tactics like feigned retreats and massive encirclement maneuvers, often demoralizing enemies before direct engagement. Genghis also used a huge network of spies and quickly adopted new technologies, from improved bows to a sophisticated system of smoke signals, burning torches, drums, and flags for relaying commands across vast distances, making his forces incredibly mobile. His armies were always supported by a well-organized supply system, shamans for morale and healing, and even government officials to catalog plunder. This strategic visionary not only led fierce warriors, but institutionalized military effectiveness, setting a new standard for warfare. Genghis Khan died in August 1227 during his final campaign against the Tanguts. The exact cause of his death remains a historical mystery. Perhaps an injury from a fall from his horse, or an illness like typhus, or even complications from an old wound. What is known is that his death was kept secret by Mongol leadership to prevent demoralization and ensure a smooth succession. Following Mongol tradition, his grave was left unadorned and secret. Legend says the funeral party slew anyone they encountered to ensure the location remained hidden, perhaps even diverting a river over the grave. To this day, the greatest warlord's final resting place remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Despite his brutal reputation, Genghis Khan was also a statesman and a surprisingly progressive leader for his time. His invasions, while devastating, brought law and order to wide swathes of lands, prohibiting blood feuds and ending petty conflicts that had plagued regions for centuries. His laws, known as the Asa, were a unified legal framework that reflected a great respect for the environment and forbade adultery, theft, and false witnesses. Crucially, Genghis Khan outlawed promotions based solely on heredity or ethnicity, making it law that only merit would judge a man's worthiness. A non-Mongol had as much chance to rise in the ranks as a Mongol, valuing efficiency and competence over social status. He also granted tax exemptions to religious organizations and championed a remarkable degree of religious tolerance, reflecting a long-held Mongol tradition of personal conviction free from interference. Perhaps his most profound legacy, however, was his role as an accidental globalizer. By forcibly unifying vast, previously fragmented regions of Eurasia under a single political authority, he eliminated countless internal borders, local tariffs, and endemic conflicts. The establishment of the Pax Mongolica, a period of relative peace and security, revitalized the legendary Silk Road, allowing an unprecedented flow of goods, ideas, and technologies between East and West. It was said that a man could walk from one end of his empire to the other with a gold plate on his head and never be attacked. He even established a mail system, Yam, that safely delivered packages and letters from Europe to China, a wonder not seen again for centuries. This interconnectedness spurred the spread of Chinese culture, technology like paper, gunpowder, and the compass, igniting the Renaissance just generations later. Genghis Khan demonstrated remarkable foresight in his succession planning. He divided his vast empire into Ulysses' territorial inheritances among his four principal sons with Borte, Joki, Chagatai, Ogidi, and Talyui, ensuring continuity. Ogidi was chosen as the Great Khan, establishing a clear line of supreme authority. His daughters also played crucial strategic roles, married into powerful families to extend Mongol influence through kinship, acting as regents and advisors in conquered territories. This meticulous dynastic approach ensured the empire's continued expansion and longevity for decades after his death. In fact, recent studies suggest that 1 in every 200 people living today are directly descended from him. From an orphaned outcast and slave to the unifier of disparate tribes, and the founder of the largest contiguous land empire in history, Genghis Khan remains an unparalleled figure of resilience and ambition. His legacy is a complex duality, a narrative of immense destruction, unparalleled brutality, and a chilling human cost. Yet, paradoxically, his violent consolidation inadvertently laid the groundwork for an era of unprecedented stability, trade, and cultural exchange, the Pax Mongolica, that fundamentally reshaped the Eurasian continent. He was a warrior who understood that power was won by blood, a strategist who valued merit over birth, and a leader who, through ruthless means, inadvertently catalyzed a form of pre-modern globalization. The story of Genghis Khan teaches us that even the most destructive forces can have profound long-term and often unintended transformative impacts on the course of human civilization. His empire, though short-lived in its original unified form, ranks among the greatest in history, its repercussions still felt today.